Ruth McCrackin and Trissetta Washington, two top-notch career and business strategists, are here to help you defy standards and break boundaries. Join them as they share powerful insights that have already impacted thousands of people and will have a major impact on your career, life balance, and business.
Great day, everyone. Hello. I hope everyone's having an amazing day as it is getting pretty cold for us here on this side of heaven in Florida. Hey, Trissetta, how's everything coming along with you? Aren't you excited? Because I am. I'm really excited.
Listen, the weather has been fantastic. I have been loving the breeze and the cooler temperatures. It has been so lovely.
I agree. And let us know, y'all come on in. You already know how we like to go ahead and generate and keep the momentum going by inviting and hitting like. And definitely let's go ahead and accelerate and elevate the platform depending on where you may be watching and streaming. As we are here, we definitely want to go ahead and spread the words. And if you're not yet follow any of us, definitely go ahead and click like and follow us in our profiles. But for now, if you've been following us here on Breaking Boundaries, we would love to unfold and help you all as leaders and aspiring leaders to know what can you do when it comes in our topic today, because we've been talking a lot about confidence and what ways you can definitely leverage that, not just in your life, but also your career, in your business, in your workplace. And we wanted to tilt the hat even deeper when it comes to entrepreneur confidence, not necessarily only using it in business. Oftentimes, leaders in our organizations look for that self-independent, that co-creating entrepreneur mindset and having that confidence to, connect with it. I think it's a good time to jump right in. What do you think, Trissetta?
Oh, absolutely. And, with both of us being entrepreneurs, this topic is, I'll say it this way. I feel like this is an easy topic for us to dive into, and we'll do our best to kind of keep it to our regular 30 minutes, because I know that we can very passionately speak on building confidence and kind of what,
absolutely,
one, why it's important, but two, like what are some of the challenges that you face that can kind of make your confidence take a ding. And so I'm excited to dive into today's topic.
I am as well. And oftentimes it's only because it allows you to commission certain skills and qualifications. But let's just talk about what is entrepreneur confidence. What does that even look like? And how does that unfold? And given that you've been in this space for quite some time, for me, I've worked with corporate for pretty much almost 2 decades and definitely hung up my cleats officially running the entrepreneur full-time back in 2022. And although I've had it simultaneously working within my field, it is a very distinguished, but they do interchangeably work together hands-on like a white glove. And let us know, what do you think entrepreneur confidence may radiate, even maybe in your experience, or what you may define? Because for me, I think entrepreneur confidence is, are you able to do things afraid? Are you able to communicate and be able to have the audacity to do things or do research, network, being curious and being able to take what you truly are passionate in and taking the bulls by the horn is what I see can definitely zeal in and radiate confidence. What do you think, Trissetta?
Yeah, I would say, I think it's, the ability to believe in, or I should say, to believe in your ability to create and generate.
That's good.
Right? In its most simplistic form, because that's all entrepreneurship is. It is identifying a need or a problem in this world, right? Identifying a problem and coming up with a creative solution to the problem, and then positioning it out there in the world for people, for you to be able to generate revenue, generate income in its most simplistic form. And, there's a lot of nuances that go into that. And there's so many things that kind of get in the way. Like we start our journey as entrepreneurs, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and all excited,
Right?
And then, life starts hitting us, right? Reality starts hitting us, and things that we didn't know start to show up, and our confidence can kind of take a little bit of a ding. I know, like for me, some of the things that I have faced as far as like setbacks are concerned, would be, like I said, the things that I don't know. I'm like, oh, my first business was a furniture refinishing business, and I knew how to do that. But then I needed to learn how to market my product. I didn't
Mm,
know how to get quality photos so that I can,
yes.
share online. I didn't know how to build an audience. I didn't know how to create engagement. I didn't know all the the sales and marketing side. I didn't know how to price all of those things, and um, that hurt. Right?
It is
It was
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
It is very uncomfortable because don't believe social media to the thousand power. Oftentimes when they're sharing their journey and they're showing the materialistic things that maybe materialized on their journey to entrepreneurship. However, what is the back behind the scene when it comes to your confidence, your worth, like what Trisetta just mentioned, being able to create a budget, being able to also have a spreadsheet, maybe perhaps a team. Oftentimes, that's why the study shows that within 5 years, entrepreneurs tend to close down shop, not realizing the responsibilities and the positioning of a mindset and your confidence that you may have to have when it comes to being that performer. Because having a confidence, number one, according to psychologists, it's something that it's not something you were born with. It's actually you would have to skillfully train yourself to develop, and especially and then also have it combined with professionalism,
Mhm.
right? And so I know that to be true is you're wanting to find ways. I know for me, let's talk about why is it important for entrepreneurs when it comes to confidence. Why do you think confidence is a great trait to have, especially when you're wanting to overcome some adversities and some challenges? Gisela, let's talk about that.
Um, because um, if you don't believe in, confidence is a little bit about, kind of believing in yourself, right? This ability to um feel like you know what you're talking about, and be able to present in a way that is convincing to others. And,
Sure.
without that confidence, you will never be able to be successful, because people can feel when you are unsure. And if you are unsure, then they will be unsure, and they will not pull out their wallets. They're not going to lay down that credit card or that debit card to purchase from you, because they're like, I don't know. You may not say it, and they may not say it, but there's an energy there, and they may not be able to necessarily name it, but they're like, something's not right, and so they won't invest in whatever the item is that you are offering. And so being able to um, stand confidently behind your product, behind your offer, behind your skill set
Absolutely.
is
Yes.
going to be crucial for you to be successful. Because listen, we start businesses because we want to make money. And I know for me, part of that was freedom. Like, I wanted to be able to set my own schedule. I wanted to be able to have an unlimited income, for me to be in control over how much money I make rather than someone else. But I will never make a dime if I don't believe in my ability to
1,000%.
create that. Right. And like I said, people can feel that.
That's right.
What about you?
That's spot on. What I find that I've learned to even develop even more while I'm in this realm. And also you can definitely keep in mind this is also a skill set that you can definitely leverage, this confidence that we're talking about in the boardrooms, in the workplace, with your teams. And why is it so important? I learned and grow that when you're having this entrepreneur journey, is you want to be able to do some self-reflection within yourself. Because is this something that you truly want to be able to see yourself doing long term? Oftentimes we look at the short term gain and not realize that, oh shucks, it's just like working out, because I know you like to use that all the time. It's just like working out. If your goal is to lose weight within a certain amount of time, and here you are, this is week 1, and you're not finding the scale moving any lower than what you started. But are you measuring what you've now call yourself doing when it comes to your planning on your weight training goals, on your weight loss goals, is what I'm getting at. And for me, when I see myself, even back before I even went into this full-time throttle, I knew I had to create that muscle, just like working out. I knew I had to create the muscle in order for my esteem to align. So when I'm communicating with my clients and potential clients, they have to resonate with me. They have to be able to connect with me. And so I oftentimes realize, am I a good listener? Am I acknowledging my skill sets as an entrepreneur? And it's just as well as a leader. Have you find yourself being a good listener? Let us know in the comments that this is resonating with you. Or do you find yourself more as a talker when it comes to collaborating with your team as a leader and not hearing their insight or their input? You basically just laying the law of the land and not involving them, not finding yourself engaged and wondering why maybe the sales are not being met. Are you meeting your customers or even your internal customers where they're at by understanding why they even came to you to begin with, collaborating, co-creating with one another? That to me is important. Let's kind of bring this home a little bit as far as how can entrepreneurs build and maintain an entrepreneur confidence while they're, even if it's maybe starting off or continuing. In our case, we've been doing it for some time, but if you're starting off, how can an entrepreneur build and maintain their entrepreneur confidence in spite of what may be in front of them as far as challenges or obstacles?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is to really be realistic with what their goals are and their expectations are.
Yeah.
We can be a bit lofty in
Mm.
our goals when we're especially when we're starting out, because we don't know, right? We think we've seen other people who have launched businesses and gone to beyond 6 figures in 6 months, and we're like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and we have that expectation, but we don't know their backstory. We don't know how they got there. We don't know the fact that they already had an online presence that they weren't monetizing for years, and so when they finally decided to monetize, they had a huge audience that they could present to. And you are
Mm.
starting from scratch, right? So being really realistic with whatever those goals are and what those expectations are. Now
I like that.
you can set really, I'm not saying set small goals, definitely have big goals. The key there is to take calculated risk, right? So you want to back that up. You want to back up your actions, or excuse me, your goals with appropriate levels of action, and making sure that the risks that you're taking, these are educated, these are calculated risks. You're not putting your mortgage, your home up for
Mm,
collateral for a loan, and
that's
you have
good.
no clue. You're just getting started, and you haven't tested the market yet. So you want to make sure that you're being very um, specific and calculated when you take risks. Also learn from your mistakes, right? I say this all the time, that entrepreneurship is like a grand experiment. We're constantly in this phase of testing, feedback, reiterating, right? So get your whatever your offer is, or whatever it is that you're doing in your business, because it's not necessarily around sales, but whatever it is that you're doing, put it out there, test it out, get feedback, right? So you can see, okay, that's feedback. Now let me reiterate. Let me make some adjustments. Let me make some changes. Right?
Yes.
Because a lot of times we feel like, oh, well, I launched a new product and no one bought it, or maybe one person bought it. Yes, one person bought it. Awesome. That means that
Right.
that means
Exactly.
that people want it.
Don't lose
Now,
sight.
take a look at what your process was. Take a look at your sales page. Take a look at the price. Take a look at all the aspects. Make some adjustments and put it back out there, because you've gotten evidence that it's real, right? Even if
Yeah.
no one shows up, are people looking at are you getting people to look at your sales page? right? If you're getting people, a ton of people are going and looking at your sales page, there's interest there, but maybe you haven't convinced them enough with your sales page, right? So
I like that.
all of this is, learn from the things, the setbacks, learn from the things that don't go right. It's not failure. Don't look at it as failure, look at it as feedback, right? And then this one is absolutely crucial. You need to make sure you surround yourself with people who are positive, people who are going to support you.
That is 1,000% facts. Exactly.
That's how I met Ruth. Ruth and I met through a community, a business community, right? Because entrepreneurship is an unusual path. It's much more common now than it used to be, but a lot of people don't have. It takes a different mindset, and not everyone around you may understand the struggle or the journey that you're on. So it's important to surround yourself with people who can really understand and are going to support you in your journey, because it's going to be some times when it just doesn't go at all as planned, and you're going to want to give up, and you're going to want to completely throw in the towel. And if you've got people around you saying, I don't know why you did that in the first place, and you need to just go in and get a job, then you're going to quit. You're going to get up, and you're not going to offer the world what the gifts, skills, talents, and abilities that you have that they need. Right. And then finally, take care of you. You've got to practice self-care. It's mentally draining. I just had a day yesterday, a really rough day yesterday, not from a business perspective, but from a personal perspective. And I had a whole slot of things that I had intended to get done yesterday, but I ended up having to cancel my whole day because I needed some time for me. I needed some time to.
How many of y'all can relate to that? Sometimes when you need to unplug, and you often find yourself in a corner and you're like, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. Although getting things done is a great benefit, but how is it benefiting you, the vehicle, if you're not fully fueled up and charged up to getting things done? And so I love the fact that you're giving yourself grace to unplug and have a health or mental day break away from that. Dave Bowden, on the opposite scale of that, which is a best-selling author, he talks about what ways, it's called About Building Confidence for Shy Men. When you find yourself in a stressing environment, and the stress it's real. The stress is real. It's real even outside of entrepreneurship, even in your personal life, even with relationship, regardless. So in your head, he has this principle that he lays out in his book. It's called Getting Things Done Method, and being able to do it in the best way where you feel your confidence and you feel the work is being done. And it feels like you're in complete control of your task because you have some sort of planning, you have some sort of timeline and some sort of deadlines to meet, and you find your way of commanding your schedule. And sometimes you need to know that, okay, and I know we talked about it before, where you blocking certain time where you solely just focus on doing that particular task. It helps you, makes you feel competent. It makes you not only feel competent, but also you can start checking things off because now it's more organized. And those are another ways and methods that I believe is truly beneficial when you're wanting to build that entrepreneur confidence. What ways to definitely do that, even though through resilience, you're wanting to implement what practical way can you actually put it to work? What are the best systems for you in staying on top of everything? And I found that Dave Allen mentions it really great on the Getting Things Done method. How many of you all would love to have a method? Do you have a method on that or do you just get up and kind of just allow yourself the opportunity to go through the failure, not once, but not twice, but not 3 times and over and go until you just throw in the towel? Maybe it would just shift your frame of path that you're in by being more organized, by having some sort of some methodology in place, maybe holding yourself responsible by creating some getting things done list, maybe a daily list. How about you, Tracetta? Because you're huge on productivity. It matters to us that we have some sort of strategy in place because that's what helps us stay in task. It helps us do everything that we want to do on our project. It doesn't necessarily have to be all at once or all in one timing. So what other benefits can one help with elevating what I just shared with you, but more so maintaining that resilience so that because challenges are going to come. but how do
Right.
you face it on a daily basis and in alignment with what I just shared as far as, getting things done method, maybe of another way of giving yourself the opportunity and grace to balancing your
Yeah.
ambition in this area. Yeah.
I mean, you said the key word there, is to give yourself some grace. I think that we can be overly critical of ourselves, and we kind of beat
Yeah.
ourselves up when things don't go the way that we expect them to. You
Sure.
plan for months and months, to do a launch, and you do all this work, and then you don't get the signups that you want. It doesn't hit in the way that you want, and it's
Oh,
very easy to kind of want to just be like, oh, forget it. This isn't for me.
yeah.
And so I definitely want to say, give yourself some grace and recognize that you are not alone, right? And even the most seasoned of entrepreneurs has times when things don't go the way that they had planned. They don't hit their goals. They don't hit their targets.
Yes.
And so it's you are not unique in that way. And so it's important for you to step away and just really try and find some ways to stay positive, to stay focused on what is working, as opposed to kind of getting bogged down in the things that kind of didn't really go the way you planned. Some of the things that I do to stay positive, I do affirmations, and that kind of helps. Prayer helps. I'm very mindful of the type of things that I listen to and watch.
Yeah.
I try to, kind of keep myself away from negativity, because negativity breeds negativity. So as positivity breeds positivity. So,
Absolutely.
just doing some things that, making sure that you're listening to music that is positive and uplifting, ensuring that what you watch on television is something that fills you up, builds you up, right? The people that you're spending time with are people who pour into you and not constantly draining you. So those are just some of the things that that I do to remain positive, and also having an environment, a physical environment that is positive in nature and bright and upbeat. I don't, you see my office is white, right? It's bright in here, because
It's
like
huge.
I don't want a dark color in here, because a dark color could negatively impact my mood. So just kind of finding things that work for you to help you maintain that positivity, so that you can stay resilient in the face of challenges on this journey called entrepreneurship.
You know what? And I love the fact that people have the appetite of wanting to get into entrepreneurship now than ever before. I think it's probably record breaking.
Yeah,
How
I
and
agree.
I love the fact that they're even instilling it even more, although it's been around for multiple decades at Harvard University and other known. Even now, even nationwide, even universities are wanting to incorporate entrepreneur within their actual coursework, and how
Right.
to be able
Yeah.
to negotiate and how to be able to get clients and things like that sort. Because now they know we live in a day and time that is shifting, although it wasn't like it was already there, but not in this aptitude, not in this level of awareness that a lot of people are now wanting to tilt their hat towards entrepreneurship. And I got to be honest with you, when it comes to the realm of entrepreneurship and building these confidence and knowing how to maintain and staying positive, listen, we live in a day and time today that everything around you triggers negativity. Everything when it comes to what's on the news, what's in your backyard, even if you're, right now when I talk to my clients, a lot of them are facing layoffs and they're getting discouraged, and now they're in this what I have described earlier in our previous episodes, fight flight, or either now there's new terminology, making friends. And a lot of people are in this flight zone because they're fear of losing everything, and then now they're in this survival mode,
Mhm.
settling for less and not maintaining what they may not be seen to be true. Because the reality is, yes, you got laid off. The reality is, yes, you have responsibilities. But the question you want to ask yourself is, and I do believe there is a time where you're going to grieve. There is going to be a time where you're going to want to get things back together again. The question is, how long you want to stay in the midst of that negativity? So I love the fact that Trisetta mentions affirmations. Speak those things that are not as though there were. is a great ancient saying. Really speaking it to yourself out loud, even maybe audio record it, writing it down to where it's now tattooed in your subconscious realm of recording the things that you see that you may not be able to see yet, but now you say it to yourself every day to where it now becomes your reality. But that takes practice, right? So what other ways can we build and maintain entrepreneur confidence in a realistic and also holistic way? What expectations? I love the fact that you mentioned, yes, we got to set goals. And maybe you need to take baby steps on this journey. I love when I listen to these podcasts and they speak on long-term longevity. Some people are looking for very quick wins, and that's okay. Let's take baby steps though. So that way, when you see these wins, you're not finding yourself overwhelmed or challenged because you were looking for larger return. Learn from your mistakes. Maybe you bit more than you could chew. You accepted an opportunity to go ahead and resign. And now you're doing the full-time entrepreneurship, not realizing that you can't just launch everything at once. You pick one, you master it, and then you allow it to grow, and then you measure it, you monitor it, then you go back and maybe do some SWOT analysis. We talked about that. You may even want to go back to a couple of more episodes where we talk about SWOT analysis. And you want to, like Trisetta said, certain things we're not meant to do alone. I do believe that. If that was the case, why did Adam had to get a +1? Obviously, when it comes to making dominion, making things happen, seeing a transformation, it requires us to surrounding by others who can automatically insert in us the drive and the adrenaline that we are needing, the oxytocin type of, what is it called? I may not be saying it right.
It's a hormone. Oxytocin is a hormone.
It is a hormone when it makes you feel good and allow. So I did say it right. Okay, good. And you want to be able to, and then when it's not feeling good, how are you bringing yourself back into that fundamental, that foundation? Let us know in the comments that this has been very, very beneficial to you all, because it matters to us, not just because we are in that space, but we too have been where you've been. For those who are working in a workplace and you want to create that entrepreneurial mindset and be able to help your leaders and co-creating in a space where you may want to go ahead and have something on the side and develop. And you won't want to do it alone. You want to be able to have that support. There's so many avenues on getting support. There's so many support out there. If you're wanting to reach out to us, let us know in the comments. We can revisit you all in the comments. We talked about overcoming setbacks when it comes to what's been common of us, similar to us, and also entrepreneurs. What do they commonly face? I even mentioned, how to maintaining the resilience. Trisetta talked about what's you can do on a daily basis to help control by doing self-care and be able to keep yourself balanced by unplugging and maybe putting some time aside. And then we talked about how to maintain your confidence by building resources around you, by allowing yourself the opportunity to take risks, and not just taking the risk, but knowing that if you fail or if you may stumble along the way in that journey, that it's okay. What did you learn from it? What good came out of it? And not just look at, oh my goodness, I spent thousands of dollars, and then shoot yourself in the foot in the midst of it, and not finding, well, what did you get? What was the top 2 wins that you got out of that? What was the benefit? How did you, and then taking that and running from it. Let us know if this has definitely been an absolute journey for you, where you're now wanting to incorporate and implement and maybe reaching out to have additional support. I love it. I love it that we are helping you all, not just helping you, but also us. We're on a journey and mission to breaking boundaries. We do see you all, and we understand that having the entrepreneurial confidence, it is a skill, it is a trait that you want to develop. You want to be able to create and not finding yourself to be overwhelmed. So we love to see you all in the comments. Thank you all for coming by. If you have not yet subscribed, definitely follow us. We are super excited to go ahead and continue to visit you all each week with amazing topics. If you have something that you have in mind that you would maybe want to embark on, say, I would love for you all to hear from you all in specific areas, go ahead and shoot us a DM or put it in the comments below. As always, definitely keep knowing that you can rewrite the rules. You don't necessarily have to feel bondage and not being able to breaking boundaries. Until next time, everyone, talk to y'all soon.
Bye for now.
Join and subscribe with career strategist Ruth McCrackin and business strategist Trissetta Washington to the Breaking Boundaries podcast each week. You too can experience the limitless potential of rewriting rules and creating an extraordinary future for yourself.